Hey everybody, hello and welcome. My name is Jim and I'm a reactor commentator, and in today's video I'm going to be checking about Islamabad during lockdown, and this is drone footage during COVID-19. Obviously I don't need to explain what happened there, we all got locked inside, but some interesting things happened with some photographers. They decided to kind of venture out into these cities and show an area that is often quite populated with people completely desolate. I find myself kind of addicted to these videos. I think it showcases these areas in a very unique way and in a way that we'll just probably never see, hopefully we'll never see for a very long time, and at least in the daytime, you know. So I find myself really into these videos, and since I'm doing a deep dive into Pakistan, I feel like this would be a good one to choose, and a lot of people were really nice enough to suggest this one to me. If you're new around here, please consider liking and subscribing. It costs nothing, it really helps the channel out, and I'd greatly appreciate it. We also have some community links down below. We've got the Twitch for live shows, we got Discord if you want to join the community, Patreon if you want to help support the channel, and then we now also have a P.O. box if you want to send me anything. So check out the P.O. box if you want me to open anything up live. Anyway, what do you say we get right on into this video? Of course, they had like a spa music in the background. That's gorgeous. Wow, look at that landscape. Margalla Hills. Very few cars on the road, probably just essential employees. What an odd time in history this was. It was only a couple years ago, but it feels like it was like, sometimes it feels like it was a million years ago. Interesting how we all adapt to things so quickly. Empty cities. Nobody's outside. Kashmir Highway. Now, I think I've actually heard of this highway. I mean, it's huge. I would imagine most of the time it's probably blocked up with traffic or something. With that many lanes. It must have felt like surreal to be traveling on these roads during this time. I know it's weird here. I like how lush and green it looks like the suburbs are. This just kind of reminds me of like Boston when this was going down, you know? It felt so strange the first couple days just traveling in and out of Boston. I'm like, wait, how am I not in traffic for an hour? Oh my God. Kind of reminds me of like landscapes of Kazakhstan. They've got like this beautiful city that like nobody's in. It's crazy. These ultra wide highways and just like nobody's traveling on them. Everything just seems so quiet. just imagine that field like lively with people dancing and screaming and just, you know, enjoying the sport. There's like nobody out. The stay home signs. I wonder how, it seems like most, like Pakistan took this pretty serious. People obeyed the law pretty well. Look at that mosque. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. That is something else. The magnitude of that thing is wild. I wonder what it looks like inside. Look at the size of that mosque compared to like the buildings. Drone footage is so relaxing. Again, I would imagine these streets are really hustling and bustling, especially with all those, you know, cars. Empty parking lots, yep. Empty playgrounds, that's just kind of sad. That's a really cool playground. It's like a little amusement park. Yeah, this is the sad part, you know, kids locked up, you know, they can't go and enjoy stuff like this. They didn't know what was going on. This is a really cool little park. Kids must love this. All these crazy areas. I can just imagine like hundreds of people just dancing and playing out here. This is just kind of sad. This is one of the more sad things that happened besides people dying, you know, was the kids getting locked up inside, you know. Yeah, buses. They're not out anymore. What a wild time to be alive. Nobody out. People really seem to be respecting the rules. They seem to actually be staying home and like following quarantine guidelines. There are very few cars and people out. Look how empty it is. Look at the roads. There's a handful of cars and motorcycles out there. Everybody else is inside. It's so unique to see landscapes like this. To see cities like this in the daytime with nobody out. It's one thing at night, but like in broad daylight like this. This music is moving too. love the markings. Look at the architecture on that building. I'd love to hear from people that lived or worked in this area and what it was like during this time. With everything so desolate like this, what were your feelings? Were you afraid? Did you think it was going to come back to normal? Did you think it was like the end? Did you take it serious? What was it like seeing these massively populated areas just so empty if you ventured out for a second? What was the general vibe of people? Like what was our headspace like? Not a single person. City. You can see the mosque way back there too. That's cool. It's a nice overhead shot. It's got that shell shape to help with the acoustics. Seems like people kind of took it pretty serious out there. You know, first off, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's interesting to see these landscapes with just nobody in it. I think this is going to be a time in history where hopefully this sort of thing just does not happen again and we're not stuck in these situations. But some interesting things happen because of it, and this is one of them. You know, the drone footages, and I think it's something to really kind of take note of and really just absorb. You know. It's I think it's something that'll be studied for years and years to come. You know, when we look back on this virus, we look back on everything, we're like, what happened to us? And, you know, we'll have like these awesome drone shots and everything, but it's important to tell your story. Like I said, I'd love to hear from you guys as to like what it meant to you guys when COVID happened. You know, what was your headspace? What were you afraid? Did you think it was just nothing? Because here where I'm from, it was a very divided thing. We had people at first where everyone was kind of in agreement, like, okay, there's something might be going on. But then very quickly after, like a good chunk of us, like 20 or 30% of us, basically said this whole thing is not real. You know, people would be dying anyway. We don't need to be staying home. We don't need to be wearing masks. People started getting real upset about like restaurants and stuff being closed and people not being able to go out. And it was an absolute bummer because at the core of this thing, a lot of people died. A lot of people died that did not need to die. And that is the number one saddest, most horrible thing is the absolute magnitude of the loss of life. But we were pretty divided in we had half our crew saying stay home and the other half was kind of like, no, we're going out. We're living our lives and, you know, we're going to the gym. We're getting haircuts. You know, it was just absolutely ridiculous. And it was one of the main things here that kind of really drew a dividing force between us was like, okay, are you team like let's focus on science? Or are you team, you know, like no, whatever their team is, I don't know. It was kind of ridiculous, especially with people dying like that. And now it's where the real divide I think started happening here in America. I wonder if you guys had a divide yourself. Did you guys have factions of people that thought this was, you know, a lie or a conspiracy? Did you think the vaccine was going to shoot a microchip in your arm and the government was going to track you? You know, I mean, I would imagine so. I mean, crazies are everywhere. But it was a very weird and undefined, like a weird time just to be alive. You know, it only happened a couple years ago, but doesn't it feel like it's a million years ago sometimes? Like, and it's still out there. I mean, COVID's still a thing. You know, people are still dying from it. You know, it's just something that like we don't really think about anymore because it's just something we're kind of living with. But it's somber and it's sad, especially those playgrounds, man. The playgrounds hit me because besides the magnitude of the loss of life and like the pain that causes, I think the biggest thing besides that was just the kids, you know, kids stuck inside, especially not being able to enjoy like those playgrounds, which look awesome, by the way. Like those are some pretty cool playgrounds. Like they're massive, they're expansive. Like you guys take care of your kids, which is awesome. You know, you want them to have a good time and a good childhood and a happy life, and it shows in those playgrounds, which is nice. It's awesome to see. But just seeing them kind of empty in broad daylight like that, it's like you feel kind of sad because you just know there's probably tons of people out there, families just enjoying themselves, and it was we lost that social touch for a little while, you know. But yeah, man, what a wild time to be alive. But yeah, if you're willing to share any of your stories with me about, you know, what it was like for you, whether, you know, what the first couple days were like, I feel like it's important that we kind of share these things. And I'll be really appreciative to hear your stories and you know, how you know, got through all of this and possibly how it changed you. And it'll just kind of hopefully help me and other people that watch my videos get a better perspective on what it was like for people of Pakistan during COVID. But this was a beautiful video, and I think it's an important video, and these videos are really important to check out, and it just shows things in a completely different light. Anyway, that's going to do it for me here today. If you enjoyed yourself or got any value out of this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.